The events industry is once again in a difficult situation. The show might not go on for the industry as the country records a high number of daily coronavirus cases. Large gatherings are seen as super spreaders. Restrictions to prevent this are likely to be put in place depending on what the president says. Reporter Ronald Masinda is tracking down popular event venues to see how they are coping. He joins us now live from Cape Town. Thank you so much for your time, Ronald. Speak to us about what you are seeing and whether or not these industry players are worried about further restrictions.
Yes, indeed, Heidi. Good afternoon. Well, where we are at the moment, we are at the Greenpoint Athletics Stadium. There was another event that just ended a short while ago, and this one was hosted by the City of Cape Town to honor Metro Police officers. So we just missed this event as it ended slightly early. We are hoping to get more word from JP Smith, the Safety and Security Mayoral member here in Cape Town, to give us more details and also what they are planning to do ahead of possibly another family meeting. But we've been crisscrossing the province. We visited Franschhoek earlier on, where we spoke to an event organizer who is catering for an event for many people, around 700 people, in fact, who were there earlier on. Though people were saying that, they are very anxious about what the future holds. They don't know how bad this variant will turn out to be. They also don't know whether or not we will be on further lockdown restrictions when the festive season kicks in. But what we got from the event organizers is that they are now not even trying to organize events for a long period of time because of what could happen. They don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty around future lockdowns, the future variants that could affect many of them. So they are saying essentially that they try and do events, prepare for events 6 weeks perhaps, in terms of the time frame, which is quite a short time. But for them, it's like they are trying to cut as many costs as possible in case there were future or further lockdowns, because for them 2 years is what it takes to cater for an event like the one we saw early on, the Bubbly Festival. This festival started this year following another cancellation of another festival. Event organizers saying that they also want to learn from the mistakes done at other festivals, such as the ones that we have been showing on channel, the Rage Festival, the ones that were now canned in Plet and also in Palito. So event organizers are very anxious for what the future holds. Are you hoping that the president at least minimizes the restrictions of social gatherings? They do feel that they are adhering to many of the protocols, but what they actually also want and what they're advocating for is the issue of mandatory vaccinations, because they feel that when everyone enters their spaces, they should be vaccinated so that business can continue as usual.
Sure. Ronald, let's just quickly go a little bit more into what these events organizers are saying. I mean, no one can predict when new variants come about. It causes a lot of pressure for these events organizers because nobody really knows what restrictions will look like. But the issue of mandatory vaccines is a big topic, and we do know that the president has deployed a task team. Are these events organizers thinking about making it mandatory for people to attend these events to be vaccinated?
They say it's very important, Heidi, because that is the only way to keep the economy going. They feel that, especially this time of the year in Cape Town, I mean, there's usually quite a lot of buzz from tourists going into areas such as Franschhoek, which is also one of the hot, popular destinations, tourist destinations. And they feel that, the only way to get the economy going, to get the tourism sector going again, is for these mandatory vaccinations to take place. They feel that without them, there will continue being such strict restrictions. I am seeing JP Smith pulling over, Heidi, but I will continue the conversation with you. I had spoken to the wine industry as well early in the week, and they also are advocating for these vaccinations to be made mandatory, because they feel as well that, without these vaccinations, there will be more and more of these harder lockdowns, more of these red list bannings taking place. I'm going to ask Mr. Smith to quickly come over because we want to touch base with him because the City of Cape Town also has a very important role to play at such a time. We are seeing quite a lot of also other events taking place. Mr. Smith, thank you very much indeed for your time and rushing through. First of all, we don't have a lot of time. Just tell us a bit about what has taken place here today.
Hi, afternoon, Ronald. So today we had our Metro Police 20th birthday here. And the occasion is quite special because, of course, I have been around for long enough to have been here on the Portfolio Committee, a member of the Portfolio Committee, when we created the Metro Police. And to be here on its 20th birthday has been special. And along that journey, we have done things like create the Metro Police Gang and Drug Task Team, where national government stepped away from specialised units. We created specialised units like the Metal Theft Unit and the Gang and Drug Task Team, and they started doing innovations like independently dealing with search warrants, developing informants, gunfire detection technology, which we're out on tender again now, the Eye in the Sky, which we're going to do soon, the informant management, all these different things, the K9 unit, and today we paid homage to some of that. We also recognised the innovations in the training college, some of the social development projects like the Metro Police Cadets and others, and of course we paused to appreciate the officers that have fallen by the wayside during this time.
Mr. Smith, we don't have a lot of time left. Talk us through some of the preventive measures in ensuring like gatherings people are not overcrowded at these gatherings. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a looming fourth wave. There's also the issue of a new variant.
Absolutely. So we have told people, look, don't panic. Be a tourist in your own country. If you can't travel somewhere else, re-explore your own city. You'll be amazed by what you find. Things change all the time. And then use some common sense. The lockdown regulations permit for reasonable-sized events still. So we are having events, we are having activities. But as with all these things, even here today, the audiences are smaller and we've limited the numbers. And we will be doing, as part of our festive season enforcement, we'll be making sure that people stick to the basic lockdown regulations so we don't have a situation with a massively increased lockdown.
Very briefly, what is the city's view on mandatory vaccination?
So that's above my pay grade. We will obviously take legal advice in terms of our staff, for instance, on what the law and labour law says around this. And if it is made compulsory and we are obliged to enforce it, then that's something we will have to deal with. There has been a legal discussion inside the city about whether our staff should be compelled to vaccinate, because there are external entities that hold this to us and say, look, your staff are dealing with our staff, your staff are not vaccinated. It is a cause for concern for us.
All right. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Heidi, we've run out of time. It's back to you for now.